You did an offensive and defensive winners and losers from the NFL Scouting Combine. Take us through that and who you thought the winners and losers were.
Well, let's start with the winners. First on offense, Anthony Richardson, the quarterback out of Florida. I mean, we knew he was a very good athlete coming into the combine, but what he did, the show he put on, just an ultra, once possibly in a generation athlete at quarterback. I mean, 4.4 340, 40 and a half in vertical leap, but 244 pounds. You talk about trying to create, even numbers for the quarterback position. I know Anthony Richardson is very raw. He did not put up great numbers in Florida, didn't really develop as expected to with Florida, but I could see, there's certainly teams that are going to be desperate for quarterbacks. They're going to want to take a chance on him. And I think his best chance for success is kind of obviously sitting right away, learning the game, really kind of focusing on his mechanics a little bit. And then when he does get into the game, kind of try and operate a similar game plan to what the Buffalo Bills did in developing Josh Allen. Be very patient. Don't be afraid to use his legs. Just, keep things simple for him. And then slowly, as he gets more comfortable, that's when you kind of build out the offense. Defensively, from the combine, I got to go with Adetomiwa Adebawore, the defensive lineman from Northwestern. Again, expected to be a great athlete at the combine, and like I was saying with Richardson, Adebawore just put on an absolute show. A sub 4.540 for a guy who I think is better at defensive tackle than he probably would be at defensive end in the NFL level. Explosive, jumping ability. I mean, this is a guy who I thought would have been an early day 3 guy. I don't see him getting out of day 2. At this point, I don't even see him getting out of the second round, to be honest with you. I mean, he was that spectacular with what he put on the field in his workouts. Now let's go over to the losers of the weekend. I'll go with offense first. Again, Kayshon Boutte from LSU. This was a guy who I thought coming in was kind of part of this cluster of receivers. I thought would be a good fit for the Browns at 42. There was a lot of stuff on, I guess, draft Twitter was kind of, disappointed with some of the receiver workouts that they didn't get the explosive numbers that everybody was expecting. Boutte, I thought was going to run better, do well, and all those sorts of things. 4.540, not great, but what really hurts him is the explosive numbers. A vertical jump of just 29 inches and a broad jump of just 9'10", so that's not good for a receiver. Ideally, you want some explosiveness, especially from a guy who's 5'11", 195 pounds. And the other one for me, Siaki Ika, the defensive tackle out of Baylor. Again, another guy I thought would have been a very good second-round option. The thing is, he actually dropped weight for the combine. He played in about the 350s, and then he comes to the combine weighing 335 pounds. So he had lost weight, which I thought would have made him a better fit for a 4.3 base like what the Browns run. But then you look at just the rest of the numbers, a very poor 40 time, 4.39, not a good 10-yard split of 1.88 seconds. Agility times just not very good, adding up to a relative athletic score of about 2.02 out of 10. I know you're not looking for a lot of so don't necessarily need a lot of athleticism out of a nose tackle type player, but ideally this is not the kind of performance you want to have out of a player in that range. And as I said before, if you're an elite player, the last thing you want is a bad combine. And if you're a player that's ranked lower, the one thing you need is a good combine. And I think, we saw both ends of the spectrum over the weekend.
Yeah, without question. Adebawore is going to be an interesting guy. I heard him at the podium. He's a sharp kid, so it'll be interesting to see if he's on the Browns' radar at 42. I'm with you. He looked like he can play. Let's see what happens.